Hey GRDs, thereligionteacher.com. You may have seen these two Greek letters in Christian art and architecture, and it comes straight out of the book of Revelation. Jesus says, I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am the first and the last, the beginning and the end. Because Alpha and Omega are the first and last Greek letters of the alphabet. So it's Alpha and Omega. And even in the book of Revelation, we have, first, last, beginning, end. So what does this express? First of all, it expresses the eternity of God. God is the first and the last. He's eternal. And by using these Greek letters to refer to Jesus, we are expressing that Jesus is divine. Jesus is the first. Jesus is the last. Jesus is eternal as well. Because we believe that Jesus is one person of the Trinity, of God. That God is eternal. Jesus is eternal. And that's why we see these Alpha and Omega to express that in symbolic form. That Jesus has always existed and he will always exist. Alpha and Omega, the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet, are used to express that eternity of God. So, go make disciples. God bless.
All things were made through him. Now, the interesting thing about John 1:3 is that statement. The two statements, one is positive, the other is negative. The second statement is, and without him, nothing was made that was made. What kind of English is that? The verse is making the point abundantly clear. All things were made through him. And if you doubt it, without him, nothing is made that was made. If it was made, then it was made by him. If it was made, then it was made by him. So, if you say, yeah, all things were made by him, yeah, but there are a few things that was made that was not made by him. Well, without him, nothing was made that was made. So what does it mean? I like the implications of this passage. In other words, it's saying there is no creator outside of the Word. Nothing else has the power to make things out of nothing. There's no creator outside of him. Without him, nothing is made that is made. In other words, there's nothing in creation that came from another source.
A Christian church, we have theologians like Tertullian, theologians like Origen, and even the great St. Augustine himself made connections between this passage and the devil. And after all, it does make some sense. I mean, let's at least give the argument some due here. First of all, there's no description of how the devil fell in the book of Genesis. And because there's no blow-by-blow description of Satan's fall in the book of Genesis where we think it might have most naturally laid, that, inspires a little bit of curiosity on the part of biblical scholars and theologians. We want to find out how this happened. When we go back to the book of Genesis in the early chapters, we see, of course, God creating the world in glory with his glory, his power, in 6 days and resting on the seventh. And virtually the next scene, Adam and Eve are being tempted in the garden immediately after God makes for Adam a helpmeet in Eve. But by the time Adam is working in the garden, Satan in the form of the serpent is just there. He's already there, tempting Adam and Eve to fall. And so the question that plagues the mind of many is, how did this happen? How did Satan fall? When did it take place? Again, Jesus says he saw it in Luke chapter 10, verse 18. He saw Satan fall. But there's not much there as far as how this happened. And not only that, but that puts us in a little bit of a difficult place theologically, because why would a good God put an evil, tempting serpent in his garden? And so there's sort of some moral overtones to this question as well. And that, of course, leads to the speculation that perhaps a passage like this one might provide a suitable interpretation as to how it is that Satan fell. And when we read the passage, I think you're going to see why that explanation is at least plausible. Now, not only that, but you probably know, if you've been following this channel, that I'm a Jonathan Edwards scholar. I devoted a lot of my life to studying, reading him, and writing about him. And Edwards does come to this conclusion as well. If you're interested, you can read Miscellanies 340 and 1264, I think it is. Those are a couple places where Edwards associates this particular passage, Isaiah 14, with the fall of the devil and his pride.